Let's dive into the narrated summary of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Chapter 15. Are you ready? Are you ready? Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Before we jump into the content, make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss anything. Now, let's get into the video. On the cover, we see the Shinju Ryu. Cover text. The black sand rages violently. A new Shinju Ryu emerges. What exactly happened in the sand village? Page 1. Initial side text. Shinki and the others are trapped in the sand. What is happening? We see Shinki already trapped, seemingly restrained by Gaara so he can fight Matsuri. Shinki asks what this means and demands they release the sand, asserting that they're ready to fight too. Page 2. Gaara, badly injured, declares that he cannot carry the kids in this condition. He orders them to escape, reminding them that he is the Kazekage. Shinki then calls out to Gaara. Page 3. Matsuri observes that Gaara's injury needs attention. She warns him that if he doesn't act soon, he'll die and believes it's not the time to worry about the children behind him. Gaara responds that this is precisely why he won't let the youths with potential die here, even if it means sacrificing his own life. Matsuri says it doesn't matter. If he can't hold out, she can leave the children behind in peace. Pages 5 and 6. Yodo shouts for Kazekage-sama. Gaara asks Yodo to count on him for the future of the Sand Village, using the sand coffin to try to shield the kids. We see Gaara surrounded by Craw Grimes. Then Shinki manages to free one of his hands and uses a jutsu to escape. He employs his iron sand to protect Gaara from an attacking Craw Grime. Page 7. With his iron sand coffin shielding Gaara, Shinki states that for the future of the Sand Village, Gaara is still needed. Matsuri comments that Shinki is a disobedient child and should listen to what his father said. Then a Claw Grime attacks Shinki. Yodo yells for Shinki and begs him to stop. As the branches overpower Shinki, he tells Kankuro not to worry and asks him to inform Shikamaru that he's still alive. Pages 9, 10, and 11. Shinki is completely engulfed by the Shinju tree as Yodo screams in desperation. Gaara remains inside the iron coffin created by Shinki. Matsuri realizes she can't attack Gaara right now. Looking at Shinki trapped in the Shinju tree, she notes that even though he has become a tree, the sealing jutsu is still active. Matsuri observes that as long as he's alive, the jutsu remains effective. She acknowledges that he put himself in danger to protect his master and remarks on his strong spirit. Matsuri suggests that if he were to become a companion, it might be interesting. Back in the present, Kankuro mentions that according to the support team's investigation, Shinki, who has turned into a tree, still seems to be alive. He notes this is due to the sealing jutsu that Shinki activated. He comments that Gaara is in critical condition but somehow managed to survive. However, Kankuro states that, given the current situation, it's impossible to rescue him. He explains that only Shinki can deactivate that sealing jutsu. Kankuro expresses his desire to revert Shinki back to normal before helping Gaara. He asks anyone who knows of a method to share it. We see Sarada and Sumire listening to the conversation. Then Shikamaru asks Kankuro to confirm one thing: if, after that incident, anyone with the same chakra as Shinki has been spotted nearby. Page 13. With a worried look from Sumire, Kankuro continues his explanation. He mentions that so far there have been no reports regarding the situation mentioned. Shikamaru responds that, for now, everything seems fine, but advises Kankuro to stay vigilant. Shikamaru explains that they are investigating the symptoms related to the tree, analyzing the information, and devising a strategy. He promises to share any discoveries as soon as they have more details. Kankuro agrees and adds that he doesn't want to worry anyone. Shikamaru affirms that he understands. Page 14. The Hokage hangs up the phone, and a worried Sarada asks if this means the enemy's number of allies could increase. Shikamaru admits that it's a possibility they can't rule out and that it should be taken seriously. He instructs everyone to stay alert and mentions that if Boruto gets in touch, any information he provides will be crucial at this point. Page 15. The scene shifts to the Shinju, where Ryu appears and asks about the name Ryu. He wonders if that is truly his name. Jura responds, affirming that yes, he gave him that name to establish Ryu's identity, something he considers essential. Jura adds that this is the most basic information Ryu needs. Page 16. Ryu reflects on his name, expressing that Jura understands him well and saying that he really likes the name. Matsuri, intrigued, wonders who this individual is. Ryu then notices something and asks the others to wait a moment as iron sand begins to emerge from his back. Pages 17 and 18. The iron sand moves toward a black cube where an eye appears. The sand pulls and reveals Code, who had been watching them. Under the watchful eyes of the Shinjus, Code is strangled by Ryu's sand. Code complains, demanding to be released and cursing the situation. Ryu comments that it seems like Code was snooping around. Page 19, Jura, observing the situation, says he doesn't mind and orders Ryu to release Code, explaining that everyone there has their own thoughts about him. Ryu obeys and lets go of Code, who starts coughing. Jura then asks what Code is doing there and if he has any business with them. Code, angrily, replies that it's not just business, questioning Jura's intent to devour the Otsutsuki. Jura states that he plans to do so eventually, but for now, there are more urgent matters that need attention, so he has postponed the Otsutsuki issue. Page 20, Jura notes that Code seems to hold a grudge against Boruto, making him a target they should eliminate. He suggests that if Code wants to face him, he should go ahead, as Kawaki alone is enough. Code then asks what makes Jura so confident to decide things on his own. He insists that he alone decides who he'll face and suggests that the monsters should focus on the Otsutsuki. He reminds them that he is the one who will claim the chakra fruit, with the goal of becoming the new Otsutsuki, carrying Ishiki's will. Jura, in turn, mentions that the chakra fruit contains special energy and information about all forms of life, wondering what would really happen if they ate it. Under the gaze of the Shinjus, Code asks if, in other words, he's being challenged. He then charges forward with his claw marks, declaring that he'll show what happens when someone dares to challenge him. Code's hand enters the claw mark and emerges through Jura's chest. Attempting to attack Jura's face with his clawed hands, he's shocked as Jura cuts his hand off with a slash from his Rinnegan. Page 23. Code is stunned as he sees his arm fall and screams in despair. Jura, on the other hand, expresses gratitude to Code, saying that he gave them the freedom to think and, thanks to that, they can now enjoy days filled with new experiences. Page 24. Code, still in pain, mutters a few words. Jura then comments that Code's life seems to need a little more excitement. He suggests that, as a gesture of respect to his benefactor, Code should seek out and deal with Otsutsuki Boruto and the mysterious collaborator aiding him. Jura promises that, after those results, he will give Code the chakra fruit in exchange. Jura concludes by asking Code what he thinks, suggesting that perhaps his life, which has lost a bit of its spark, might gain more excitement. Page 25. A claw mark closes the wound on Code's arm, stopping the bleeding. He, still feeling the pain, complains a bit. The Shinju Mamushi watches and says he doesn't know why, but seeing Code in that situation gives him a sense of relief. Code, in turn, expresses that he felt somewhat belittled by them. Page 26. Code declares that he doesn't need them telling him what to do, and insists that he intends to deal with Boruto and his friends, all of them together. He reminds them that no matter what happens, he won't forget to demand the chakra fruit from them. Jura then says he'll support him and asks Code to do his best to discover where his destiny will lead him. Code, starting to sink into the claw mark, says that while they may laugh now, he'll be the one laughing last. Page 27. Ryu remarks that Code isn't an easy person to deal with and asks if he can face him again if they meet. Jura replies that it's also a choice, but Ryu should focus on something else for now. He suggests that Ryu tune into his instinct and listen to the voice of the dragon within him so he can see the face of the target he's meant to face. Page 28, Ryu says that if that's the case, it's already decided. He informs them that the target is now under a special technique, but that he can undo it. Jura asks him to talk about his choice, and Ryu confirms that his choice is Gaara, the 5th Kazekage of the Sand Village. The scene changes, and the Hokage monument appears. Boruto is sitting there when someone arrives. It's Kawaki. Boruto asks Kawaki if he's alone. Kawaki responds that yes, he is, and that Ida is watching. Boruto questions what happened and why Kawaki isn't attacking this time. Kawaki, in turn, asks what Boruto's intention is and why he doesn't tell the truth to the residents of the Leaf Village. Page 30. Boruto reflects that nothing good will come from it. Under Kawaki's gaze, he continues. Regardless of the truth, those who believe and those who doubt will create divisions, leading to confusion. That's something I want to avoid at all costs. Kawaki, still silent and paying attention, listens as Boruto continues. At least the Leaf Village is functioning normally. That's what matters. It's natural to deal with those who are exiled for treason. Thanks to my master, I've gained strength that keeps me steady, no matter what happens. Kawaki questions. What happened to Momoshiki? You didn't resolve the situation, right? From what I see, you still can't control the karma. Boruto explains that it was about 2 years ago when he fought Code along with his master. He reveals that since leaving the village, it's the first time he's used karma again. It's been a long time. At that moment, I felt the sensation of being taken over by Momoshiki. It was something like that. What? Boruto responds, it's like I'm losing my own identity. It's a feeling of dying while keeping consciousness. Since then, I haven't used karma a single time. Kawaki, still puzzled, says, what does that mean? Why did that happen? I don't understand. Boruto explains that Momoshiki has been silent for the past 3 years, but activating karma might be the trigger that brings him back. Kawaki, concerned, exclaims, damn! Doesn't that mean the situation has only gotten worse? Page 33. Boruto states that Kawaki probably already knows that the Otsutsuki members are not easy to deal with. He points out that among them, there's one he can't face alone, and he needs Kawaki's strength. Kawaki replies that Boruto shouldn't change the subject because they haven't finished talking about Momoshiki yet. Boruto continues, saying that after defeating the Otsutsuki, if he starts losing control, Kawaki shouldn't hesitate to kill him. Page 34. Boruto notes that in any case, Kawaki needs to become stronger. Under Kawaki's gaze, he continues, you're my father's disciple, right? Boruto says that ideally, Kawaki should free Naruto and train with him. However, unfortunately, that's not realistic right now because it would take too long, so Boruto makes a revelation. Boruto says that Kawaki would come to this conclusion sooner or later, so he'll tell him now. Kawaki, still confused. Page 35, Boruto instructs Kawaki to interrogate Amado, revealing that Amado imposed restrictions on Kawaki's power. He explains that Kawaki's attack, defense, and regeneration capabilities are being adjusted to be elevated beyond their limits. Kawaki, shocked, questions, What? Boruto comments that the old man is worried because he can't let Kawaki die. Page 36. Amado observes and says, what is this? Where did Boruto get this information? In his thoughts, he wonders if that subordinate toad from that time was really him. However, it's hard to believe that Koji is alive. Amado questions what the real objective is. Boruto informs Kawaki that Amado needs his karma for his own purposes. This means he was manipulating Kawaki's abilities to ensure Kawaki wouldn't die, no matter what happened. Boruto concludes that what Amado was predicting was Code's attack, right? 6. Boruto challenges Kawaki, saying that if he thinks it's a lie, he should make Amado speak directly. He asserts that he's already on his way. Kawaki reaffirms that his view hasn't changed. He believes the Otsutsuki are the root of evil that must be eradicated. Kawaki mentions that the presence of the God Tree and the 10 Tails is the responsibility of the Otsutsuki, who are an existence that must disappear completely. Kawaki also adds that he and Boruto must start by eliminating those irritating divine trees. Page 37 is that he won't be picky about methods and won't hesitate to form alliances as well. Boruto asserts that he won't hold Kawaki back, while Kawaki calls him an idiot. Final chapter text. Finally, the two unite in front of the divine tree, and how will Konoha react to the crisis in the Sand Village? That was the narrated chapter. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. See you next time, and thanks.